Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Rundown, where we talk about 2A news and conservative views. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Piwowarski, coming to you live from the East Coast. That's the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most here on The Rundown. 2A views, conservative news, and Craig, guess what day it is?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's hump day.
Hump day!
It's hump day.
Hump day!
That's right, folks. Today is Hump Day. This is the day in which we attempt to begin the weekend, sometimes with success, sometimes not. But hey, as we always like to say, the fun is all in the trying.
Here's the fun, and here's the trying.
You look like you're having a good time, my friend.
It's been a long day. I've still got, I think, 2 more shows to do after this one. So it's
Excellent.
good,
Excellent.
great
Well, you know
night.
what? It just sometimes it just be like that, man. Sometimes just the blessings just keep coming in.
That's right. I was like, "Achoo," and somebody was like, "God bless you," and I was like, "See, just like that."
Just like that, the blessings just keep on rolling.
Just like that.
Well, hey, let's go
Just
ahead
keep
and get ready to
rolling.
get into the program. But before we do, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yeah, let's say hi to our good friends at Hitman Industries. That's hitmanindustries.net. Hitmanindustries.net. If you got yourself an AR in the past 5 years, probably got one of their birds, don't even know it. Well, now you can buy from them factory direct. Just get on over to hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. Make sure you check out the California 6th congressional race while you're out there. If you want the best in tactical concealed holsters on the market, get on over to hogholsters.com. That's HAWG holsters.com. Tell them the guys at the Rundown sent you. That's all one word. It's for the discount code. All one word, no spaces, all caps. Use the Rundown and get a nice little couple bucks off there. And if you're looking for the best in tactical gear, go to the field gear, outdoor gear. Whether you're going hunting, camping, fishing, or hiking hunting some Ukrainians or some Russians, whatever. I guess Russians is what we're going after, right? Ukrainians are on the good side, or maybe some Gosnians, right? You get on over there to uscombatgear.com and get all the tactical needs you can have, minus the gun.
That's right, folks. These are our sponsors. They bring us to you so that we can bring you to them. Do us a favor, do them a favor, do yourself a favor. Go ahead and visit them. All you got to do is click on the link in the description to this program, and it'll take you right to their website. Check them out. If you like what you see, spend some money with them. Tell them that the guys over at the Rundown sent you. Also want to encourage you, if you have not already done so, please remember, like, share, subscribe. Encourage your friends to do the same. And for those of you who are watching us live, 2 p.m., or I keep saying 2 p.m., 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, folks, check it out. Check it out. You can comment. We're watching, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Facebook. We are taking your comments. So do us a favor. Do yourself a favor. Go ahead and chime on, and we'd love to hear what you got to say, whether you're watching us on Rumble, however you are partaking. Join the conversation, please.
Yeah, come on in. We'd love
Come
to see your
on
words.
in. The water's warm. All right. Moving on to today's news. Number 1 on the hit parade is Nikki Haley. Now, we all know that the Republican primary is over. All right, it's over. Donald Trump will be the Republican nominee for president in 2024. We all know this. It's kind of a given. It's kind of a given. I'm sorry to tell you this, but yet and still, it's kind of like it's still the end of the race, and you still got to finish running the race. And there's one other person other than Donald Trump that is still in the race, and that would be Nikki Haley. Now, I got to tell you, this wouldn't even say anything about this if it weren't for the fact that not only did Nikki Haley lose, but Nikki Haley lost. Now, by the way, just so you know, Donald Trump was not on the primary ballot because the Nevada Republican Party has said we're not going with your primary system because you've screwed it all up, state of Nevada. We're going to do a caucus system. So Donald Trump never bothered to put any of his information, never bothered to apply to be a part of the caucus. So Donald Trump's names was not on there. Even that being the case, Nikki Haley lost to none of these candidates in Nevada. She lost to none of the above, Mike. Bruh, how embarrassing does it have to be? This is a woman who was a former governor. She was a U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. Was very well thought of, even amongst conservatives, before this all started. And now, people would rather vote for nobody than vote for Nikki Haley.
Hey, bring that picture of her back up a second, because when I first saw the screen, I'm sitting far distance from the screen, right? We got all these funky lights, so the lights are on us, not so much on the monitor. Now take a look, Craig. Now I want to now squint your eyes a little bit, right? I thought it was Candace Owens. I think
Okay,
it's in the chin.
I get. What is this? Is this an all brown people look alike thing for you? Is that what this is?
No, no. Because listen, the monitors, we don't turn the monitors up full brightness because otherwise they'd glare back at us, right? So I'm trying to watch it from a distance away, and I get to see. Listen, folks, you see a thumbnail at home, right? Well, I see a thumbnail of a thumbnail on the monitor, right? So I was like, what does Candace Owens have to do with this story?
I thought she looked a little bit more like, if she were just green, if you like tinted that picture green, she would look more like the Wicked Witch of the West.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Or maybe the East. I don't care. Any Wicked Witch, I think she's got it down. Yeah. It could be the Wicked Witch of the 7-Eleven. It wouldn't matter to me. I think that's where she is.
Wicked Witch of the 7-Eleven. There you go with your racial jokes again.
What's wrong with the 7-Eleven witch?
She's Indian. See,
7-Eleven makes her Indian?
You and your microaggressions, man. Look, I caught that.
Oh,
I caught that, Mike.
Right. No. But she's tech support Indian, not casino Indian.
Yeah. Okay, Mike.
Yeah.
We're going to have to get your racial epithets down more properly. If you're going to get in trouble, might as well do it right. You used the 7-Eleven reference. You didn't mention a casino. You mentioned 7-Eleven.
Right, that was on accident. See, that's the old Indian stereotype. Yeah. I went to the new politically correct one when I said tech support versus casino.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, Mike, for those of you watching, Mike will be going to racial sensitivity training following this program. Anyway,
instructor then.
I just think, man, and this is the problem with running against Donald Trump, number one. Number two, I think she's ruined her brand. She actually would have had a shot at president maybe in 2028. Yeah. She would have had a shot at vice president, but she has just so ruined her brand now. And the worst part is it's not even like she made it. It wasn't like Donald Trump calling her names made her look bad. She made herself look bad. For example, saying, "Oh yeah, America's never been racist."
Yeah, it's never been racist at all. Yeah. Well, let's be clear on this, Craig. The South has been racist before. You know, we kind of knew what we were doing up north. You know, we had to come down here and shoot some Southern racists, but you know, there's definitely racist problems in the past. Yeah.
Right. So we got a comment here from somebody. They basically said it lived so much better when Trump was in office. Joe Biden is a joke, trying to blame Donald Trump for his border when it was his executive orders that opened up the border. Hey, Joe, we're not stupid. With all due friends, and all it says is someone new, is the comment from someone new. And all I'll say is someone new. The fact is that some of, not us, I did not, but people voted for Joe Biden enough to make it close enough for them to cheat. So having said that, there are enough stupid people in this country that, we kind of got to pay attention. But excellent points otherwise.
Yeah, that's Craig's defense system there to let you know he likes Trump but not really likes him. So.
No, I love Trump. I love his policies. I just have an issue with some of the things he says and how he says it. But I've learned a
That's
long
what I'm saying.
time
You like
ago.
him.
You know what? I'm not looking for perfect. I'm looking for someone who's going to do good. And America was a better
Right.
place with Donald Trump as president
Right.
than it has been with Joe Biden as
Right.
president.
That's what I'm saying. You like him, but you don't like him. You know, you just it's a difference.
Oh no, I am not. I am not a Trumpster. I am a believer in advocating for those who advocate for me, and he's done a good job. He did a good job as president advocating for me.
So I have a couple of lawyer buddies hang out with, and I'm in this Facebook group with them, right? And one of them this morning made a comment about the primary,
Right.
And out of the blue, the lawyer just goes on and starts, bashing Trump, and everybody else was just like, "You're still not over the TDS, huh, bro?" It's just you saw a comment that was pro-Trump and could not help yourself. You just had to go all anti-Trump derangement syndrome and out yourself. And he posted it for a couple hours and finally got it pulled down. He realized it was on his public page, not his personal page.
I just don't get nobody's perfect. I mean, when I see the sort of stuff that people defend Joe Biden for, I'm like,
Yeah.
that's nothing. I mean, what Trump did, and literally, you're defending bad policy. I'm just talking about bad tweets.
Yeah. Well, Trump's a racist. He's racist.
Such a racist. It's kind of funny, though, how black people loved him until he became a Republican president. Latinos loved him before he became a president. Democrats loved him before he became a Republican president. Then all of a sudden he became racist.
Yeah.
Funny how that works.
I think he's still Latinos and Black Americans still love him, and it's just the Democrats that are trying to throw that on him.
Well, I've already told you, my barbershop is any indication. It could be a landslide victory for Donald Trump in the black community. I'm just saying. I ain't saying. I'm just saying.
Unless, of course, all the people in line don't get to vote because we denied them any food and water, right? Isn't that what Donald Trump did?
Well, yeah. That's the Republicans in general.
Yeah. That didn't happen, folks. It's not real. It's not real, by the way.
All right.
You're not allowed to politic with people in line. You can't go up to them and say, if you vote for Trump, I'll give you water. You can give them water and food. You're just you can't politic with them in line.
Exactly. You're not allowed to politic. Anyway, so this next story, gun control relying on racism. And it's kind of funny because I know that the entire time that I've been involved, actively involved in the gun rights movement, which has been well over a decade, one of the things that I learned very early on was how gun control laws were rooted in racism. I even did a video on it, pointing out how literally almost all gun control laws, when they first came out, were all about keeping those people from owning guns. And it seems, oddly enough, now that those who want to take away our fundamental rights are now required, because of Bruin, to actually look at history and identify within history and historical, show history of support for various different rulings, that it's now all of a sudden the left is like, oh, wow, there were racist gun laws. In fact, the only gun laws that they can find to defend their taking away of our rights are based on racist history. And this was an article that was actually written in the LA Times, of all places. And it says, if we must rely on history and tradition to assess gun laws, does racist history count? I'll just read a little bit of it for you. As attorneys for the state of California prepared recently to defend in federal court a state law requiring background checks for ammunition purchases, they found themselves in an awkward position. Under a U.S. Supreme Court ruling from 2022, gun control measures are legitimate only if they are deeply rooted in American history and tradition, or are sufficiently similar to some other centuries-old law. The state lawyers had conducted a deep dive through hundreds of years of American jurisprudence and identified dozens of historical laws that they felt bolstered the modern law's legitimacy by showing that the government has long limited access to firearms and ammunition. But their problem is many of the historical laws they found were virulently racist, restricting access to weaponry for enslaved people, indigenous people, and other racial minorities. In the end, the attorneys in California Attorney General Rob Bonta's office decided to push ahead and cite laws, but with a major caveat. Now, Mike, here's the thing that I'll say. The whole thing was they didn't want to treat people equally. They wanted to separate out people by race and then identify and then take away their fundamental rights. So it wasn't so much a denial that it was a fundamental right. It was more saying we don't want those people to own or possess firearms. Yet in this case, what they're saying is, well, we don't want those people being, the non-elite, if you're not, part of our liberal academic elites, if you're not, white liberal racist, then you don't deserve gun rights.
All right, I just wanted to hear what your those people definition was. That was okay. This ridiculous. You and I brought this story up a couple of times, Craig. When it happened in the past, you get some of these government agencies that want the gun laws to stay away and be able to take them out of the hands of law-abiding citizens. They're told now under Bruin you have to have historical context, so they go out and find the craziest, most racist laws you can find and say, here you go. Here's a law. Here's a law that we're using that says it's okay to take black children and put them in a different school as long as we provide them with the same education. See, that's okay. We're allowed to set. It's Plessy versus Ferguson, right? We're allowed to do that. Craig, I think somebody needs to explain to them they need to use constitutionally proven laws, not laws that were later to be unconstitutional. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world. They're coming up with laws were found later to be unconstitutional, but when it was first passed, that's what they're using. We're only using it for that part, not when it was determined to be illegal. That part, not so much.
Well, but once again, this is how it's just funny. This is how insistent they are upon taking away the fundamental rights of all Americans that they are willing to use racist laws that were later deemed unconstitutional in order to get their point across.
Yeah.
I say this because, and I'm glad to see it's in the LA Times, because people who I told, black people who I talked to, Latinos who I talked to, didn't believe me. They didn't believe me that the first gun control laws in California were about keeping indigenous people from being able to own firearms, or that in the 1920s they passed laws preventing Chinese and Mexicans from being able to purchase or purchase firearms or ammunition. Or the only one they knew about was the Mulford Act, because that specifically was targeting African Americans and the Black Panthers. So all I got to say is, it goes back to that whole thing, where you say, well, people call you a conspiracy theorist. I say, no, I'm just predicting the future. I'm just
a conspiracy connoisseur.
I'm a conspiracy connoisseur. There you go. But it turns out to be reality. Anyway, I just found that amazing. I found it to be a very interesting article, and where they got a cover for Rob Bond to say, well, I'm not a racist, but those racists got it right. That's what he's saying.
I'm not saying we have the same opinion. I'm just saying they're correct.
There you go. Oh yeah, I will be tweeting about that. I just thought about that. I'm going to be tweeting about that today, or Xing about it.
Jack wagons. Yep.
Gonna get my X on.
Get it on.
All right. We all knew it was coming. If you haven't seen the movie Lady Ballers, it's right now only available at the Daily Wire. But if you haven't seen the movie Lady Ballers, you might realize they might need to change the credits on it, because it might need to now read based on a true story. And here's the thing. So in Canada, there was a volleyball tournament. And in this volleyball tournament, there were 5 transgendered players who basically dominated the volleyball court at a women's college university game, right? The funny part was the biological males never left the court, and the biological females had to take turns getting to play because the biological males, well, they were kicking butt. Here it is. It says, this is a shocking moment. This is the shocking moment. 5 transgender players hijacked a women's college volleyball game in Canada. Footage showed 5 athletes dominate the women's volleyball match between Seneca College and Centennial College in Toronto on January 24th. The biological male athletes were seen smashing the ball past their female teammates. The controversial players each stayed on the court for the entire game, while biologically female players were substituted on and off the bench. The game sparked outrage among conservatives who raised health fears for the women athletes that were furious to see them being benched. The series comes amid a spike in trans athletes dominating women's sporting events across the U.S. and Canada, despite mass public backlash. Now, Mike, the reason why they're saying they dominated, because if you look at the picture here, you see that there were some on both teams, right? So there were 5 of them, I guess 3 on one team, 2 on the other. But they never left the court. You remember, I think we talked about, we even showed the video of it, of the high school athlete who actually got bashed in the face from a male, biological male, spiking the ball and hitting her in the face. And she was, almost a year later, was still dealing with traumatic brain injury as a result of that encounter. I just, man, to me, I'm like, people are clearly outraged about this. And I don't know anybody, honestly, anybody who has defended this, especially I don't know anybody who's ever played sports who's defending this.
It's the next step, Craig. The next step, we will see it. You and I will not only see it within our lifetime, we'll probably see it within the next 11 months. Because we've got the Olympics coming up here shortly, right? Is somebody is going to say, you know what, I feel special. I feel, handicapped in a developmental way. I want to go to the Special Olympics, and they're gonna let him in. Of course, they're gonna let him in, right? And it's gonna turn into a Johnny Knox film, like the Ringers. They started playing, the Special Olympics. I mean, where else can we go with this? There's so much ridiculous in this story. Even telling you we're gonna end up as a Johnny Knoxville movie, should make you shake your head, and you're pretty close to what we got now. So,
well, no, you're right. There are, once again, it's like reality is comedy has become reality. I do not believe I believe that we are in complete denial if we're going to sit here and say that there is no biological difference or advantage to those who were born male, went through male puberty, and you were going to say that there's no biological advantage that they have. This is just one example. Trust me, there are tons.
Yes, this is absolutely ridiculous. Hey, can we go down there and fill this room with uppercuts? I mean, just with the dudes, not with the women.
Yeah, no, it makes no sense. It makes no sense to me. And yet you have people on the left who will demand that this be the case.
You know who won't stand for this or wouldn't stand for this? Former wrestling champion Jerry Lawler. Remember what he did to Andy Kaufman when Andy Kaufman tried to say he was the intergender wrestling champion and he wrestled women? Imagine what Jerry Lawler would do to these people.
Yep. That would be, we would go really bad. Really, really bad.
He would take them on public TV and beat them all with a chair. So,
there you go. Sounds like a plan, man. Sounds like a plan.
Yes,
finally, you might know that, you might have heard that Hamas has actually offered a ceasefire. What they asked for, though, was they said, well, tell you what, we'll give you the hostages. You give us all of these people who are basically terrorists who are the worst of the worst, something like 5-1, by the way. And then we'll have a ceasefire for 4 months, and they turned it down. One of the reasons why Israel turned it down was because, according to the reports that they have, about a fifth of the hostages that are still in their custody, Israel says, have actually died. It says Israel estimates that a fifth of Hamas's hostages remaining in Gaza have died, the New York Times reported Tuesday. At least 32 of the remaining 136 hostages are dead, the outlet reported, citing 4 anonymous Israeli military officials. The government has informed families of those whom the military has confirmed to be deceased. Most of the 32 dead were killed on October 7th, the military told the Times. It added that it was deploying all available resources to locate and retrieve as much information as possible regarding the hostages currently held by Hamas. Now, Mike, just to point out, Israel has said no ceasefire. Under no circumstances,
No.
America has offered. Or am I wrong on that?
That's not true. That's not true.
Okay,
That's not true.
go ahead and correct me.
Benjamin Netanyahu and the Israeli government said that they will have a ceasefire when all of Hamas is dead. That's when they will give the ceasefire.
Okay, there you go. Okay, I stand corrected. I just wanted to make it clear that all of Hamas being dead is the requirement for a ceasefire for the ceasefire to continue, because there was a ceasefire on October 6th.
Yeah.
Hamas broke that ceasefire. Israel now says they all must die. Hamas all must die. Then the ceasefire, and the hostages be released. Then
they're going to correct the problem. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
They're going to all of Hamas will die, and then we'll be back to the ceasefire. It's Israel's going to keep their word on that. Listen, America can go over there all they want with our lame named Abe Lincoln and Joe Biden going over there trying to convince them. And I love it, because Netanyahu's just like, hey, have you seen the door? It's over there. Don't let it hit you in the ass on the way out. This is our war. Go away. Do you think he would say that to President Trump? Well, first off, we wouldn't be in this situation with President Trump, right? But this is what other countries now do to our leaders. They're like, go away. We got this. Go away.
You would think they would get that, because I'm sorry. I just think when I look at people and I hear people say, well, this was happening. No, there are so many things that are happening right now. In particular, when it comes to foreign policy and what other countries are doing to us and to our allies, they would not do that to Donald Trump. Not because they have a lot of respect for him, but because they are scared of Orange Man with the button.
That's it.
They know F around and find out is a thing under Donald Trump.
This guy was ready to nuke a hurricane. What do you think he's going to do to your country?
Exactly. This isn't rocket science, folks. I mean, he got North Korea and South Korea to sit down and talk.
Yeah.
They were talking to each other in Korean. Would say, we need to talk because Lord knows what this guy's going to do if we don't.
We don't do something, he's going to blow us both up.
Exactly.
Because that's what he did. Remember, it happened in Mexico, right? Remember, they asked him what he wanted to do in New Mexico, and he goes, New Mexico. I'm still dealing with old Mexico. Give me a break.
Look, all I'll say is this: if you're not going to respect me, I'd rather you fear me.
Yeah. It came out with that hair.
I'll just leave that right there.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Well, hey, that brings us to our parting shots. Our parting shots are brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com, use the discount code The Rundown, all caps, no spaces, and get your hog holster today. As the elections continue on, Biden is still out there pushing Bidenomics. And there is one benefit that I have learned through today's post to Bidenomics. And that's that Bidenomics has made me stronger. I can now carry $70 in groceries with just my pinky.
Wow. Very nice.
I know, don't you feel
Very
strong?
nice. It made him stronger. Stronger.
Now,
Stronger. Hey, Craig, do you know why they when you go to the supermarket, do you know why they ask you for if you want paper or plastic?
no, I do not.
Because baggers can't be choosers.
Backers can't be choosers.
Yeah,
Ah,
they need you to
dad,
decide.
dad joke of the week. There you go. By the way, for those of you who are wondering and are so looking at this border deal and say, well, I guess the border can never be fixed because Republicans won't pass the border bill. Just remember this. This is from Frank Quotes News. 2020, campaign Biden. I promise to reverse all of Trump's border security policies. 2021, President Biden. I just reversed all Trump's border security policies. 2024 campaign. Why won't Republicans help me secure the border?
It's baseball season. I mean, this is like a bad Bugs Bunny skit, you know. This is like,
Yeah.
This guy is he's a lunatic. He's got no memory. He's doing the Roomba on stage. Can we get rid of this guy already?
He's doing the Roomba on the stage. Like it's a dance. By the way, this is just so you know. I love this one. If weak men create hard times was a poster. I think that's Joe Biden and Justin Trudeau.
That's exactly who I thought it was. Justin Trudeau. Okay. All right. All right.
Or the illegitimate child of Fidel Castro.
Yeah. Yep. That's
If you ever get a chance, just Google a picture of him and a Google of Fidel Castro when he was young, and you would say that was his illegitimate love child. And then finally, you have Valentine's Day is approaching, and this is this is definitely a Valentine gone bad. Ask Hillary to be my Valentine. She left me hanging. How rude. Let's see. That's Hillary Clinton on the right. And who might that be on the left?
That would be the guy who did not kill himself.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Definitely did not kill himself.
Jeffrey Epstein definitely did not kill himself, in case you were wondering.
Yep.
All right, folks. Well, hey, that brings us to, about the end of the show. But before we go, it's time to give a quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yeah, Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Now you can get to rifle and pistol caliber barrels and rifle and pistol lengths for your AR at hitmanindustries.net. If you want, you fight the fight behind enemy lines, you got the California Republican Assembly there. Make sure you reach out to them and help out any way you can. Check out the California 6th Congressional race while you're there. And if you need some tactical gear, some going to woods gear, going to war gear, whatever it happens to be, you get everything but the gun at uscombatgear.com.
That's right, folks. Please take a moment, visit our sponsors, and make sure you tell them the guys over at the Rundown sent you. And with that, we're going to call it a day. We will be back tomorrow on Throat Punch Thursday still. So till then, y'all stay safe.
Yep.
Have a good time. We'll see you mañana.
Whoop.